Joel Embiid is one of the best and most dominant scorers in the history of the NBA. This year in 34 games, he was putting up over 35 points per game while shooting over 53% from the field. Now, one of the reasons he's able to score so easily is because he does a great job of mixing power with finesse. So in this video, I'm going to break down his game and give you all the moves that you'll need to get any shot that you want as a big who's able to knock down shots from the perimeter. Now, before we look at any of his moves, the first thing to understand about Joel Embiid is that he really loves scoring from that mid-range area. And a lot of times he's getting there either through a short roll or a high post-up. Now, once he does get the ball, he really likes to face up, get in his triple threat, and see if he can score without even having to put the ball down. And one of the easiest ways to do that is by using your jab step to get the defender to either back up or put their hands down, or both. And then once you see them back up, you just raise up into your shot, knock it down. Now, the keys to the jab step is making sure that the ball moves with the step. So the ball has to go from one hip to the other while you step so that the defender thinks you are going to rip through and attack. And one thing about Embiid is he's really patient when he does this. So if the first jab doesn't work, they'll jab and jab again and even mix in some pump fakes just to get the defense to back up just far enough for him to get a shot off. Now, the next shot he likes to use comes off of a stab step, which is not to be confused with a jab step, right? This is where the little details come into play. On a stab step, the ball does not move with your step. You're going to keep that ball on your hip the entire time, and all you're doing is using your foot to get the defense to back up, and then you can keep the ball protected and go right up into a shot. Now, another move that you can use is what I call the circle step, which no, you're not stepping into a circle, but all you're doing is you're moving the ball in a circle as you step forward at the defender. This can make them back up, it can make them bite and jump to one side because they think you're ripping through over the top. It gives them something to think about, and you can either raise up into a shot or go right by them and get to the basket. Now, the last move we're going to look at to freeze the defense and go up into a shot is just the pump fake. One thing that happens to a lot of players after you pump fake is they put their hands down, right? So this is something that can be used in combination with jab steps and stab steps to really keep the defense off balance, and you can just figure out a way to get any shot that you want because you have them kind of frozen and at your mercy. All right, so we got his triple threat moves out the way. Now let's take a look at some of his moves that he uses to get a shot off the dribble. And we're going to start with my personal favorite, the hezzy pull-up. Now, the hezzy pull-up is such a good move because what you're essentially doing is getting the defense to back up with you and get on their heels as you prepare to attack them. So watch here as Joel Embiid gets into his hezzy. Pay attention to how the defense is actively in retreat mode as they prepare for what looks to be like an attack from Joel Embiid. And the way that you do this move is actually very, very simple. It's almost pretty much like a skip. For him, he likes to do it a lot with the ball in his left hand. So his right foot is going to go back first. His right foot is going to hit the ground first. Then his left foot, that's going to get him into that drop stance. And then once there, he just brings the right foot forward and raises up into a shot. Now, there are multiple ways that he likes to get this shot off, and I'm going to show you a couple of them right now. Right, so all the clips that you've seen so far, he's just taking a pound with his left hand, and he's getting right up into that shot. Another way he'll get into it is by, instead of just doing a pound dribble with the left hand, he'll do a crossover first. He'll have the ball in his right hand to shift the defense, then he'll cross over, get right into that hezzy pull-up. Now, he'll also do combo moves into the hezzy pull as well. So sometimes he'll do a double cross. You might see him do a tween cross, get into that hezzy pull, or he'll do my favorite, and which I think is actually the most predictable, is he'll go behind the back, crossover, and then he'll go right into that hezzy pull, right? So it's like a three-part move where he just sets his rhythm, float behind, float cross, hezzy pull up. And you know, it works. It's a good way of putting the defense to sleep. So you might be wondering, okay, well, what about when he actually does attack with his left hand? What shot does he use, or what move does he use to create space for a shot? And that's going to be his step back jumper. And when he does this move, he's really looking for, when the defense tries to cut him off, he wants to get contact with his right shoulder so that he can bump the defense back, step back into the open space, and raise up for a shot. And this is a great move to have as a big with a jumper, because you have to remember that most big men are not laterally quick. So them sliding their feet on the perimeter is already a task. So once they get to the point of actually playing defense good enough to cut you off, once you give them that bump to back up, it's really hard for them to recover in time to contest the shot. So having a good and consistent step back is something that you can always go to, and you'll always be able to get a shot anytime you need it. And if you want to get even more advanced with it, you can get into where you're doing that step back off of one leg, where you're raising up that right knee and you're stopping the defender from being able to get close at all, because if they get too close, it'll be a foul. Now I'm going to show you 2 more counter moves that you can use when you're attacking. And the first is going to be a spin move. And for big players, this is a great move because 9 times out of 10, you're wider. And it's hard to get around someone who's able to do a spin move when you're wider. It just, think about it, it makes sense. It's really hard to get around big people who use spin moves. And anyone who is able to play good enough defense to get on the other side of that spin move and stop you, that's when you can hit them with the half spin and create enough space to get a shot off, whether that's a turnaround fade or you half spin into a hook shot or even into a layup, right? Those are just, it's a really hard move to guard because one, it freezes the defense. It kind of just stops them in their track, especially a big man. If they're expecting you to go into a full spin move, it's hard to recover back to that little fadeaway or a hook after you do that half spin. Now I know we covered a lot, but all of the moves that we showed are moves that need to be in your workout if you want to be able to score from the perimeter or from the mid-range as a big player. Rep it out, make lots and lots of these shots. If you need help working on it, make sure you get my training app where you can speak to me directly. I have a bunch of drills and videos that you can use to become a better player, right? And that's linked in the description below. Now, also, if there are any players that you want to see breakdowns on, any moves that you want to see breakdowns on, whether that's offense, or if you want to see some defense, if you want to see college, whatever it is, make sure you leave a comment below and let me know. I'm here to help everybody become a better hooper. That's all I want to do. My whole goal with this page is just to give people something that I didn't have growing up. I never had a trainer. I used to just go outside and practice by myself. I would watch NBA TV all day, try to remember the moves, and go outside and practice them, right? So being able to have things broken down and shown exactly how to do certain moves is something I wish I had when I was growing up. So if there's anything that you feel like you're lacking, anything you need to work on, please leave a comment and let me know. I'm gonna make sure I help any and everyone that I possibly can.